Hey, what's up, folks? Just got through with a little barbecue here at Hard 8. Man, I think we're gonna head down kind of south of Stephenville, see what's going on. Beautiful February day today, 23rd of February. It's about 70 degrees. Doesn't get much better than that for February riding. So that's awesome. Oh man, we got the moat going on down here. Damn. Trailer kind of blocking the path there. Alright, I guess we got it though. Yeah, so beautiful day out here. It's awesome. Trying to take advantage of that. I got my air stitch jacket on and actually got my fleece liner on right now, but I think I may be losing that before too long. Probably next stop. I might could have got away without putting it on now, but it's kind of warm here in town, but as soon as we get up to speed it'll cool off. I was in Philadelphia this week for work and it was in the 20s up there. Still had snow on the ground. It didn't snow while we were there, but there was a lot of snow caked up or piled up in the parking lots where they had plowed it. And actually our hotel had a lot of snow there in the grass too, but luckily no issues with flights. So got home last night about 10:30 and was met with sunshine this morning, so got to go capitalize on that. I was going to go out here and hit what road is it, 914 maybe? I can't remember the name of the road. We'll see here in a minute. There's a couple of lights up here and that basically carries you around down to I think Carlton, and then you can go over to Cranfield's Gap or Ferry or whichever way you want to go. But there's a game fence down there, and a lot of times you can see some exotics. I'm not sure what all of them are. There were some gazelle, some other deer type animals with a longer, I guess you call it a horn, not really a rack or an antler or anything, just a long straight horn. I've seen pictures of them before. I can't remember what they are. It looks kind of like a gazelle horn, but like on steroids, so maybe we'll see some of those guys today. I'm not sure. It's pretty nice out, so maybe they'll be moving around. Alright, I'll see what this road is here in a minute. I'm thinking 914, but I can't remember. Yeah, 914, there it is. So we're turning off 377 onto 914. It's got a few houses along, and then the neighborhood peters out pretty quick, and you're out in the country. Yeah, I'm thinking this fleece may have been overkill, but we'll find out here in just a second. I guess. Okay, so here's the game fence over here. You can see that's what I would assume would be about an 8-footer or something like that. Haven't seen anything yet, but it's kind of wide open space right here too. I think they may have a little more cover up here on the other side of the hill. Okay, we do got to go through a intersection, and we're back down to no game fence, so I guess that's just somebody's smaller area there. That wasn't the fence I was thinking about. The one we'll go past here in a little while stays up for a while. This is yeah, I think 281. You can turn north, go or turn left, go back to Hyco north of here. Construction's been going on as long as I can remember, man. Alright. Still on 914 going south, just past 281. Crossed 281 rather. This bridge down here is a little bit of a bump. Yep. put the Olins on this bike, that would kind of launch you off the seat almost if you hit it running 50 or 60. Not as bad now. Alright, looks like we got a game fence back on the left side. Actually, left side and right side. There's a watering hole. Looks like there's something way back in the green field back there, but you probably can't even see it from here. I can just barely see the outline of something. See a couple of vultures or buzzards, so maybe they found something over there. Yeah, right here at the main gates where I've seen stuff before, or one of these main gates. Yeah, I see something, like I said, way back in the green, but it's too far to get an outline up here. Well, damn. Yeah, I think that may be it for now. Oh, cows, plenty of those. Alright, well, guess we're not gonna see any exotics today, at least not on this road, so I guess that's it for now. I will check back in here in a bit if we see anything interesting. Just out patrolling around for the day, having a good time. No particular place to go, just trying to enjoy the sun while we got it. This is I believe FM 1602. We just turned on it off of FM 219 before you get to, I think, Ferry. And I can't remember where this comes out. It may be on 6, I'm not sure, but it's definitely got a lot of nice curves. Plus it's, you know, the pavement's in pretty good shape. It's not really beat up, nice and smooth, so it makes it nice for hustling the road glide around these sharp corners. Doesn't really upset the 1,000 pounds of bike too much. I don't know this road as good as I know some of the others, so kind of taking it easy, blasting through here. Don't want to run up into anything too hot. Might make for some good filming, but probably be expensive and hurt a little bit. Okay, straightened out a little bit now. Yeah, down here we turned off 219, and that just seems to kind of be big ag country up there. A lot of cows, a lot of pasture, a couple of feedlots. And then down here it's starting to get a little more wooded and bushy. I mean, there's still a bunch of stuff cleared off, but looks like it got an entrance here to somebody's ranch or something. Well, farm at least. Yeah, big old pond there. That's nice. Down here it just kind of rolls, and when you're at the top, you can see, or when you're up at elevation, or like on top of a hill like this, you can see all the mesas out along the way. Really green down here too, which is surprising, because in Bluffdale it seems like everything's just brown even when it rains, but down here, not that far away, but it seems to be a lot more green. Of course, obviously it's been raining. You can see all that standing water back there. Must have rained last week for a while. I was hoping to get out on the dirt bike today. You can really tell what it's been doing on it, just because these county roads, the gravel roads, anywhere there's a mud hole or something like that, anytime you get any significant rain, it takes a week or so for those to drive, depending on how big they are. But since we're on the road glide, we're sticking to the pavement today. You kind of see a hint of purple out there with all the whatever those are. I think it'd be too early for the, what do they call them? The, I don't know what they call them. 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 What the hell are those flowers? I can't remember what they call them. They come to Texas every year. They sprout up every spring in Texas, but thought it would have been too early for that. I thought you'd be a few more weeks before we see those. Blue bonnets is what I was trying to think about. Okay, Hamilton, Gatesville. I know where Hamilton is. I think Gatesville may be where... Last time I was down through here, I thought there was like a prison down here or something. Because I was just riding along and all of a sudden you see all the deals on the side of the road, all the, you know, prison blocks or whatever you want to call them on the side of the road. Just your standard building with all the razor wire around it. Alright, Jeep turning. They're coming. Let's go. Let's see what's down here. East 36. Yeah, I think... I'm trying to remember if this is where I took the picture on the KTM of the Texas 36th, because it was on this road. There's a historical marker on this highway somewhere. I can't remember if it's here or not. There's an old church. There's a historical marker right there, not the one I was thinking about. Okay, 217. Can't remember where that goes. That may roll back towards Cranfields. I can't remember exactly where though. Okay, 50 miles an hour again. Temple 50 miles, Gatesville 16. Alright, let's go to Gatesville, see what's up. Alright, we're rolling into Gatesville on 36 East. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, this is where a lot of the prison system stuff is. Yeah, this looks like it up here and over there. I don't know what the name of this facility is. Maybe we'll see a sign up here. I also haven't seen a sign yet telling me to not pick up hitchhikers, so usually you see one of those when you're driving by some type of facility. Let's see what this says up here behind the UPS truck. Dr. Lane Murray Unit. So, not sure what the folks are in there for, but looks like they're on lockdown. I don't see anybody outside. $35 miles from Temple, Texas. Alright, looks like we got a guard tower here with a active guard up there. Wow. Interesting. So I guess that was it. I don't know if there's any more to it down here or not. Shell station seems to be thriving right next door. Bar and grill. Okay, cool. Already ate at Hard 8, or maybe we could have tried that place out. To remember that in the future. Probably going to stop and get gas down here somewhere because I'm at 100. Oh yeah, my light actually just came on. Low fuel light at, where am I at? I scroll through here. Yeah, 171 miles. So that put me right at 200 miles to a tank if I got another 30 miles out of it. Used to 220 was no problem on this thing when it was a stock 107, but now that it is a 124 with the hungry cam and different injectors and more importantly a correct state of tune, it's drinking a little more Kool-Aid these days. So I think I could get to 200, but I'd hate to press it that far. I think I would be on extreme fumes at that point. I guess a lot of it depends on how you drive too, but I mean the whole point of building this engine is to have fun on this thing, so kind of hard to hold back. I may lose this fleece too, because like right now it's pretty damn hot just rolling along. I mean up at 70, 80 miles an hour the wind blast keeps you cooled off, but for right now going 55, pretty hot. So guess I'll find some fuel up here, lose the jacket, touch base with you here when we figure out which direction we're going and see if we can find some good roads. Hey folks, so we just left Gatesville and we are headed east. I looked at the map and realized that I was only about 30 miles, 32 miles from Waco. So I figured we'd ride over here to Harley Davidson of Waco, see what they got on the floor. I don't think I've ever been to that dealership before. I've been to Horny Toad Harley Davidson, which is just south of there in Temple, Texas. But I have not been to Harley Davidson of Waco. I looked on their website real quick after I was taking a break after getting gas, and looks like they've got a bunch of 2023s. I don't know if they got any of the new 2024 models or not. They didn't have them on their website. But anyway, they had some newer Road Glides, newer Lowrider ST. At least it showed up in their inventory online. So figured I was only 30 or 40 minutes away. Why not ride over there and check it out? I like going to new dealerships anyway, seeing what they got going on. And so we're headed east, 27 miles to go. Should be there 30 minutes or so. And I'm going to look around for a little while and then probably head back north after that, head back towards Bluffdale. I think I've been, let's see here, yeah, I've been 105 miles so far, so that ought to give me close to 200 miles for today, which is a pretty good little putt around. Hopefully it's going to be like this tomorrow and Sunday, so maybe I can get a little more in, we'll see. But definitely got some stuff to take care of around the house, but didn't feel like fooling with it today. So this is a lot more fun and relaxing, and just kind of clears the mind, so to speak. So anyway, we're going to head east for another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll check back with you when we get to Harley Davidson of Waco. Bike parking only, that be us. Yep. All right. Let's see if there's anything in here we can't live without. Well, that was interesting. Definitely one and done with this fucking place. It was a very interesting interaction there. Went inside, looked at a couple of the 2024s. They had some new ones. They did look really nice, kind of cool. But wasn't too impressed with the personnel there, to say the least. Get situated here. There we go. Okay. Home. Okay, getting on 6 here. Yeah, so anyway, go in there, and a couple of guys came out to talk to me. That was kind of cool. Typical Harley interaction. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Wrong turn here. I thought I was turning on to 6, but now I'm in the parking lot. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, I go in there, and a couple of guys, or one of the sales guys met me. He was kind of nice. Name was Eddie. Gave me his card. I told him I was just browsing, whatever. He said, yeah, look all you want. Then another guy came up to me. I think his name was, I thought he said his name was Red. I'm not sure, but anyway, he was asking if I was looking to buy, and I told him no, just browsing. He's like, well, do you want to run the numbers, see what your trade's worth if you did want to trade in at some future point? I'm like, well, I'm not buying today. He's like, yeah, but it never hurts. I'm like, okay, fine, let's do that then. So anyway, he comes out, gets a serial number off the bike, takes a quick look at it, and we're going back in. And this other guy, who I guess is one of the sales weenies or one of the inventory managers, whatever the hell he is, I don't know. He basically asked him, so what are y'all doing? And he said, oh, we're running the numbers. The guy's like, oh, okay, well, what are you looking to trade in? And I said, well, I'm not necessarily looking to trade on anything. I'm just, down here looking at some bikes. And this new guy's like, oh, well, we don't even need to run the numbers on that then if you don't know what you want, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, fuck this machine. This, you know, I don't do pressure. You know, if there's any pressure on a sales job, it's going to be me applying it and not fucking receiving it. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, I looked around for a minute, took a piss, then heading out the door, I saw Red. He's like, oh, hey, we ran the number on your bike. He said, and just so you know, it'd be 14 on a clean trade. I'm like, oh, okay. Which I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't take less than 20 for the fucking thing the way it sits there, and I'd be on the bleeding edge taking that. I mean, yeah, I know these things depreciate. I know they're not solid gold like some people think they are. But to offer 14 on a 3-year-old bike, I guess technically 4-year-old bike, with all the stuff I put on here, that's insane. That's how Harley makes their money. And I guess they're used to dealing with people that get in heat, want to have a new motorcycle, and can't live without it. Well, hey, I got 6 fucking motorcycles. I don't have to have it. Number one, I wasn't even looking for it. So anyway, not to go on a rant, but I just didn't really like the vibe in there. Didn't really like the atmosphere. The 2 guys were cool, Eddie and Red, but the other guy, I didn't catch his name, but he's just a high pressure sales asshole, and with his fucking attitude, I wouldn't buy a goddamn valve stem cover from them motherfuckers. Anyway, rant off, we're back to riding now. What are we on here? 6, I think. So yeah, basically just heading home. GPS is heading us in that direction. I'm gonna bail out here in a little while and get on some back roads and maybe find something better to look at than traffic and buildings. But anyway, I guess on a high note from that, the 24s did look pretty good. I've seen them online and in magazines, but that was the first time I'd seen one up close and in person. The Road Glide, which is what I'm interested in, the shark nose, I guess is what we used to call it, like on my bike, but the Road Glide fairing looks super wide in print and, you know, online, but when you see it in person, it looks proportional. I think one reason it looks so big online and in print is because the glass wraps around. I mean, now it doesn't even have blinkers or turn signals. They're integrated into the headlight, so that wraps around to the side of the fairing, and it gives the illusion that it's much wider than it actually is. But when you're sitting on the bike or looking at the bike, it doesn't look cartoonish. It looks very proportional. Just sitting on the bike, not riding it, the suspension felt a lot firmer than the stock suspension on this 2020, so I think they've done something there. Looking at the engine, you know, obviously they have the new, I guess the 117s, and the CVOs have the 121 or the ST, whatever it is. But looking at it, they all have new valve covers. Not all of them have the variable valve timing, but they all have that variable valve timing cover, which has the notch on the, if you're looking at it from the side, I guess it would be on the right side for the, I'm assuming some type of sensor or something like that. There's also a sensor wire coming out of the top of the transmission, what I would have called the transmission door on the old model. I guess it's the same thing, but it's where the clutch cable goes into. There looks like some type of sensor on top of it. I don't know if it's a neutral sensor or, you know, I'm not really sure what that's doing. To me, it looks kind of out of place. I mean, it doesn't really stick out unless you look at it and then you're like, well, hell, that looks like a lot more cluttered than the, you know, the old twin cam, or excuse me, the Milwaukee 8 107 and 114. So I'm not sure what's going on there. The other thing I noticed that I did like is they got rid of that visual abortion that is the crankcase breather on the back of the Milwaukee 8 engine. I've got one on mine. It comes from the back of the head, the rear head, and then it goes down to the oil tank. It's basically where a bunch of the oil passes through. It's a return line. I said a crankcase vent line. That's incorrect. It's actually an oil return, so you can't get rid of it. But it's funny, it's so unsightly that if you go to Harley's website and look at the bikes before the 2024 models came out, you know, when you spin the bike around on their 360 display, they don't even show that in the picture because it's so fucking ugly. But yet in reality, it's right there. It's like a half-inch hose coming off the back head going down to the oil pump. It just really destroys the lines on the rear of the engine. So it's still there, but they have now put a 90 in it where it closely hugs the rear cylinder I didn't get a chance to look at it too long because I didn't really want to hang around that place very long. But anyway, what I did see is it's still there, but it's a lot less visual than it was, which is a good thing, so that's great. It'd be awesome if you could somehow retrofit that on these other bikes to break up or clean up the broken line of the rear head and cylinder on the engine. Anyway, those are my takeaways. Oh yeah, I forgot. The switchgear, obviously a lot more going on. I didn't see it with the screen on, but it's got a giant screen. The gauges are integrated into the screen now. That's pretty awesome until one of them fails, and then you don't have any instrumentation, but it looks cool. The switchgear seems to be top notch. I pressed all the buttons on it, just playing around. They seem to be easily reachable with thumbs, so when you're riding, you wouldn't have to lift. So that was cool. But obviously I didn't cut one on. I didn't actually turn it on to see what everything was doing, but it looks like hello birds, dang. Looks like at least the cruise control is easily reachable. All the control buttons are easily reachable, and it also has the circular pattern with the arrows in it, which I'm assuming will be up and down for, volume, channel changing, track changing, etc. But and the bars too, I guess I should say that. I think the bars that were on it were stock, and at least for me, my 6'0" frame, they fit me perfectly on the Road Glide. It's almost similar to what I have on this bike, which is a 12-inch bar, but it seems like on the new ones you sit more in the bike than on it, and whatever size bars comes on the thing just kind of fit me perfectly. So that would be something else you wouldn't need to immediately change if you upgraded. So anyway, I guess my first impression looking at it without riding it, looks pretty cool. I like the design and the look. The tank is definitely more square, kind of reminds me of the Indian Challenger, especially if you're looking at it from the top. It's not rounded like these tanks are on this 2020, so that was a big visual difference too. I mean, you look at it, there's no mistaking it's a Harley, but it's definitely new school compared to what you're accustomed to in the touring line. I guess that's really it. I guess one other thing. I keep going one over, whatever. But anyway, yeah, one other thing is the radiator / oil cooler at the front of the bike. They really cleaned that up. I like it. I guess they're all water cooled now, at least in the touring line. But they kind of minimize the radiator. On the older bikes like mine, even though mine's not water cooled, I've got the I've got the lower fairings on it. But when the Rushmore bikes came out, that's how they snuck in the radiator where you couldn't see it. There was 2 radiators, one hidden in each half of these lower fairings. Well, now they have a center mounted radiator. I should have paid more attention. I want to say there was an oil cooler and a radiator mounted, adjacent to each other right in the center. And it's kind of integrated with the crash bars or the engine guard. So it doesn't, visually it doesn't break up the look of the bike. So in keeping with the tradition of hiding the radiator, even though it's in plain sight now, it's still kind of maintained within the silhouette wishbone section of the frame where you can't, see it, or you can't, it just doesn't register when you look at it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's there, but it doesn't pop, it doesn't stand out. So I really like what they did with that. Again, these are first year 2024 bikes, so if it's like every other Harley product ever made, I'm sure it's going to get cleaned up over time, where people are going to, it's typical Harley way. They come out with something, it's pretty cool, it's probably 98-99% as it is, but then in mass production they'll overlook this or overlook that from an aesthetic standpoint, and then the aftermarket will step up and fix the thing, and then Harley will just steal the idea from the aftermarket, whether they license it or not, and start doing it on their stock bikes. I mean, that happens time and time again, all the way back to the at least the Evo days, possibly longer than that, but that's obviously before my time. So anyway, I'm gonna quit spitting now. I didn't mean to go on a rant on Harley Davidson of Waco, but my review would be 3 thumbs down if I had 3, because I wasn't really impressed. There's a sucker born every day, and unfortunately for them, I wasn't born today. So if I do get ready to trade or upgrade or anything else, it will not be at Harley Davidson of Waco, I promise. All right, I'm gonna find some back roads and head on back to Bluffdale. I guess we will talk here in a bit whenever the scenery improves. Let's see, I guess that goes back to Waco, 2490. Yeah, we're still on 56. I guess I should comment for those not familiar with Texas or the Texas FM roads. My understanding is essentially FM stands for farm to market, and a lot of these roads were the kind of, you know, horse-drawn buggy, and, you know, early not turn of the century, but, you know, early 1900s cars. These routes where the farmers brought all their goods to town to sell them, so that's where the farm to market comes from. But obviously they're all paved now, and to me it's kind of like you got a third tier highway system here in Texas that goes somewhere in between state and county, because here you got, you know, obviously federal highways, you got state highways, then you have county roads, and in between the county road and the state road you got these FM roads, which they're multi-county. They are, as far as I know, maintained by the state, but their FM roads are typically 2-lane. They're not, you know, what I would consider a state highway or, you know, interstate type speed limits. I mean, a lot of them do have 70-mile-an-hour speed limits, which is great. That's one great thing about Texas, is the speed limits generally, you know, 65 and up everywhere. But the FM roads are great, because typically if they're following the old gravel and dirt roads and they paved them, that leads to a lot of curves, and efficiency is not the name of the game, so that's really enjoyable. Some of the best riding out here is on these FM roads. The county roads are great too, but some of those get in such state of disrepair that it's hard to really enjoy the curves, because you never know when there's going to be a washout where the asphalt is turned to gravel. You come around and everything's fine, and then you're, you know, mid-corner and you realize you're got a gravel washout going on and lose it. So anyway, just some nice nice highway system here in Texas as far as I'm concerned. Hey folks, well, I am about 15 miles or so, 14 miles from the house. I am coming down, this is actually 51. I just turned off FM 56 onto FM 51. Instead of going through Toller and taking 377, I'm coming down here to get on 205, which is probably the closest way. I actually see this big cloud of smoke over here. That's kind of concerning. Hopefully it's just somebody burning brush or a farmer burning a field or something like that. But obviously when you see the big smoke like that, it makes you think grass fire. We have those in this area. Actually, I'm not too far from where the Chalk Mountain fire was. A couple of years ago, burned up like 8,000 or 10,000 acres. And then we had the Big L fire, which was about 3.5 miles from our house, and it burned a lot of land too. So anyway, not sure what's going on there, but I hope it is something that's under control, and I'm sure we'll be hearing about it if not. So anyway, that's like I said, not alarming but concerning. At least it's not very windy today, and there doesn't seem to be, or at least there doesn't seem to be a bunch of wind. So anyway, just turned on 205. Hopefully that fire won't be on the news tonight. I guess we'll find out eventually what's going on there. Anyway, hope it stays away from the house. If it is a fire, I mean, obviously it's a fire, but if it's a grass fire, hopefully get it under control soon. Anyway, just checking back in. Like I said, about 15 miles from the house. I think I'm going to end up with approximately 250 miles on today's ride. Scroll through here, see if I can see my mileage. Let's see. Yeah, I'm at 241 right now, and I got 13 miles to go, so that'll be a little over 250, 254 or something like that. So pretty good day riding today. Enjoyed it. Didn't really have a particular place to go. Started out eating barbecue, then went down south of Stephenville, ended up far enough south to cruise on into Waco, check out Harley Davidson of Waco. That was kind of disappointing. Wasn't real impressed with that business. Anyway, Had some fun riding back up some curvy roads, and now almost to the house again. So just want to say thanks for riding along. Hopefully I can get on the bike a little more often. Had some business travel. Been gone a couple weeks already, and it's not even March yet, so hopefully that's going to taper off. But anyway, thanks for riding along, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.